I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for AfterBuzz TV's after show for Camp Getaway Season 1, Episode 2. We are so excited to talk about this episode because it was jam-packed, but I couldn't do this without my lovely panel. So I would love to introduce our Bravo enthusiast, super fan, Zach.
Hi, how are you?
How do you feel about this episode?
I'm really excited. You know, I actually watched Camp Rock last weekend, so I was like in the camp spirit. So I'm so excited to dish on last night's episode.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And also we have Allie with us. How did you feel about it?
I loved it. It was girls' weekend. There was so much drama and it was fun. It was great.
I know. Girls rule the world, okay? I'm trying to tell everybody. And LaToya here as well. She's joining us as well for her first time for this season. So how did you like it?
Well, first of all, I just want to say hi, panel. Thanks for having me. Sorry I missed you all last week. And the episode was fun. I agree with Allie. It was fun, and I really enjoyed 1920s dinner night.
Yes, it was definitely the roaring 20s. So we have so much to get into on this episode, and we have someone special here to join us later on. But before we get into that, let's talk about it. First of all, Randall came back. So how did you guys feel when you guys saw Randall? How did you feel, Zach?
Thank God she came back. Like, we all loved her so much on the first episode. And she brought her parents. So I'm like, are your parents going to stay here? Like, come on, girl. Like, it was fun to see her come back.
Definitely. And what about you, Allie? What did you think when you saw Randall?
I was excited. I kind of assumed she was going to come back, even though she left us a little confused and iffy there after last week. But yeah, when she showed up with her parents, I was like, what's going on? But then later we see Nile bring his friend. So I was kind of like, okay, I guess that's a thing. So whatever, she can have a pass. Yeah, I definitely thought that was very strange at first, but I was happy to see her.
I honestly thought she was probably like packing her bags or something. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Because, you know, I thought she was going to come in like 2 weeks later, but she's a trooper.
Oh,
yeah.
She's a trooper, that's for sure.
Definitely. And what about you, LaToya? How did you feel when you saw Randall return?
Well, I feel like I'm going to be the dissenter of the group. If she was hurt and she couldn't work, she should have stayed home. If she back,
probably right.
If she brought her parents, I would have liked to have seen more of her parents in the episode.
Yeah,
like dancing, having fun. Yeah,
I almost think they just dropped her off and went home because we didn't really see them the rest of the weekend. So maybe they were just dropping her off because maybe she can't drive because her foot.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
and
about
she
that.
also
That
said that
makes
she's
sense.
really well. Then how'd she get there last week?
Maybe she took a bus. I have no idea, but her parents definitely dropped her off, and she was still like a sport about it, even though her foot like is in what's the word, like
the boot.
A boot. Like, she was still able to be a cheerleader and contribute. So hats off to Randall, social coordinator of the trip.
She rocks.
And I mean, I guess, you know, she could have a little fun with that one leg. We saw her do yoga. So, you know, she wanted to go on the, what was it? The
bungee jump.
The bungee jump.
Yeah,
I mean, this girl is, nothing can stop her.
I know.
Obviously, she said camp is her place to be. So, you know, we're so glad to see Randall, but this also was filled with a lot of drama, okay? And some people almost lost their jobs, okay? You definitely have to sip on that one, Zach. So
Absolutely.
we definitely have to get into this. How'd you guys feel, first off, seeing Tripp walk in the room, you know, when they were all eating dinner, before you found out he was Neely's ex? How did you guys feel walking in? I mean, how'd you feel that?
Tripp was definitely a trip. Okay. And I've been waiting I've been waiting to say that, but Tripp, like, he was so hipster with like his like hat and his glasses and his shirt. Like, he definitely threw Neely for a huge surprise. She had no idea that he was coming.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't anything staged because her face said it all when he walked in the room. I thought she saw a ghost or something. What about you, LaToya? What did you think when he walked in?
I mean, I'm like, what did I think? I just thought that there was this guy who was like too cool for school. That definitely was not camp attire and not like camp vibe. And when Neely saw him and said that was her ex, I was really surprised because she said it later in the episode, like, this isn't, the kind of guy that people would expect to see me with. And I agree with that. So it kind of threw me.
Definitely threw me for an alley-oop too. And speaking of alley-oops, what did you think?
Great segue.
That's so cute. Okay. I was very intrigued by it. Bravo definitely knew what they were doing by getting him on the show. I'll just say that. But after hearing Neely talk about him, I'm not a Tripp fan. He ghosted our girl after 4 months of dating. It sounded like he didn't treat her very well. And then he comes to camp and he's like all over her, trying to get her back. And to me, it just seemed like he was trying to have a fun weekend at camp. But I did not trust him. I was not a huge fan because I just felt like it wasn't very genuine. He was just there for a good time. But that being said, it still made things interesting. And I liked seeing Neely have fun, I guess, even if it was just for the weekend.
I want to jump on that, Allie. I completely agree with you. And even at the end, when Neely had to say, ask me on a date and give me a hug, I was like, we shouldn't have to ask, first of all. Like, we're all old enough to know how to date properly.
Exactly.
And second, like, his facial expressions told me that, like, I'm not really interested.
100%.
But I'm not really going to call you. So
Bring the sass, LaToya. Bring the sass. Now, wait, sorry to take over the moderator for a second, but I want to ask who your favorite character was because we didn't get to see you last episode on our panel. So who do you really like so far?
Ooh, I think that I like Nile the best.
Okay.
So
I love Nile.
Yeah, I just feel like he's real. Like, this is just kind of what he is.
He's fun. Yeah.
And if he's matched 3 couples to the point of marriage, I'm like, I need him to come like hang out with me.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so true.
And speaking of, the way we're going to get into Nile too, because he loves to have a good time. But let's talk about how Tripp really treated our girl Neely, because he treated her like he didn't know who she was. And that was making me so mad. I wanted to be her friend through the TV screen to literally like shake him, because you know exactly who she is. How'd you guys feel when he kind of was acting, when they were by the shore at those really big blue chairs and he's expressing, oh, I didn't think it was that serious, like trying to downplay to me, like their relationship, like he didn't really know. How'd you feel about that, Zach?
I mean, like, I think we just need more context on the situation. Like, how long did they date for? Like, how did it actually end? Like, did they end up on good terms? Were they still talking after they broke up? Like, there's so many questions, and I have a feeling we might be able to have some of those answered later today. But I don't think that Neely should, like, get back with Tripp. I think there's other options for Neely. Maybe not this weekend because it was a girls' weekend, but in the future. So I'm rooting for my girl Neely to move on from Tripp.
What about you, LaToya? What did you think when he first tried to downplay their relationship? How did that make you feel?
I just felt that Tripp was a joke, like the whole time. From the time he walked in, every time he opened his mouth, when they were doing the bow and the arrow, and he's like, I want to have a competition with Neely. I was like, just send him packing and like move on. I was just happy to see, and I hope that this is the only thing that happened, was that she kissed him and that was it. Because I don't think he was deserving of her time. I mean, if she enjoyed the weekend and had a good time with him, then good for her. But like, I would not give him a second thought.
Not at all. I mean, we got to find his shoes. The shoes have to be found before we send him back in. I don't know where the shoes went. I don't know where.
Okay, Brian Murphy in the live chat is saying the archery match lost on purpose so she could be with Tripp. Because remember, they were competing in the archery and there was all do you think she lost the archery match on purpose? Or is she just not that good at archery?
I don't think so. I'm assuming she's not that good at archery, though she was teaching archery. So
yeah.
I'm confused about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame it on the wind. I think the wind moved her arrow.
The pressure.
Yeah. all that science, all that good stuff, you know, it just moved it, you know. So he got a good luck thing, you know, just one.
Exactly, yeah.
That's it. It's just one time.
We need a rematch. Yes.
Honestly, or like, let's do something else that's like tic-tac-toe. Okay. Yeah. I bet you she'll win in that. Or, you know,
and archery's hard. Archery is so hard. I love that joke she made about like Katniss Everdeen. Like, I was dying. Like, I love Hunger Games.
That one went over my head because I haven't really seen Hunger Games. Okay. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh. What about you, Allie? How'd you feel? How'd you feel about the whole Tripp situation?
Yeah, I definitely think that we probably didn't get the whole picture. Also, I'm sure Bravo edited some stuff out, or maybe we didn't see certain scenes because when we see Neely at the beginning, she's very hesitant. She's very like not comfortable with the situation. And then towards the end, she's like, ask me on a date, you know? So I think there was more in between that happened. They probably did have a pretty good weekend. Unfortunately, we saw what we saw, and it was not a good light for him because he did not look very nice. And I hope they did not go on a date, and I hope she's with someone or no one and is treated the way she deserves.
Yes. Hopefully, I mean, we never know. She might have a little quarantine bae.
Maybe.
She, you know, shares the Netflix screen with, you know, they have the new plugin. So maybe, you know, they're just chilling. We maybe will be able to figure that one out too. And also, let's also talk when it comes to Tripp, one more thing with him, because Lord knows, this is just crazy to me. What did you guys think when they kissed? I was not expecting that. That was an OMG moment for me. What'd you think, LaToya, when they locked lips?
Well, I don't think it was OMG. I mean, any guy that's at an adult camp and runs into an ex-girlfriend, to me, it just feels like easy prey.
Yeah.
I was surprised that all he asked for was a kiss. And I thought he was a little cheesy when he was like, for the last 72 hours, I've only been thinking about
Oh my God. So cheesy. So cheesy.
Maybe I was surprised she kissed him, if anything.
I was surprised too. I did not expect her to kiss him. I mean, I don't know. I have questions for her. Like, I want to know like what happened and like what happened. Like, why did she drive him home? Like, what happened in that car ride? Are they still dating? Like, I have a lot of questions.
What about you, Allie?
Agreed. What the heck? I have very many questions. I want to know what happened in the car and where they're at now. I was surprised she kissed him, but also they're drinking. It's a fun weekend at camp. They're exes. They obviously still have feelings probably somewhere for each other. So I wasn't surprised, but I was a little shocked, but I don't know. I hope it was a good kiss.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to kiss. I really thought it was going to be like, oh, ha, ha, ha. You know, I touch your arm, you touch my thigh. And then like, they just leave it at that. I didn't know they were going to lock lips. That's what took me for like literally a spin right there. But also, let's also switch a little bit of gears because it's not all about the boys. Let's talk about this one picky camper. Oh my gosh. It wasn't her name. Her name was Jordan, right?
Jordan, yeah.
How'd you guys feel about her and all of her mini requests? Allie, how'd you feel?
I feel, it was her weekend, and I think the social coordinators know that they're there to serve the guests. And, that's life. You're going to get some difficult people to work with. But yeah, I was a little bit like, girl, come on. Like, you need eggs brought to you and all this stuff. When her friends were fine, like her friends weren't really acting that way. But, it was what it was. But yeah, it was a little like, come on.
Yeah. Those special requests were crazy. I was not expecting that. I didn't know they did that at camp. I got to go to this camp.
Yeah.
What about you, Zach? How'd you feel when she was asking for all of these demands?
I mean, I was that kid in camp, like, not gonna lie. Like, I needed all those special requests. Like, I was a really picky eater growing up. Like, I literally only ate buttered pasta. So I totally related to her. But like, now she's an adult and like, she got eggs catered to her bunk. Like, honestly, good for her. Like, even though she was like, yeah, it was room service. Like, she's at a camp and she's finding a way to like make it like she's at a hotel. Like, all power to her. I mean, she was a big mood this episode.
Definitely. What about you, LaToya?
I thought that Jordan worked at the camp. Like, didn't they say that at the beginning of episode 2 that she?
No. She was just a guest for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to go back and watch because I thought that they said something about someone in that group worked for the camp full time and like this weekend
we're
her
just
friends.
coming.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back and watch that. But either way, I'm with you, Zach. I'm a pescatarian. I understand having dietary restrictions. I did think it was interesting the way she said it though. Like I felt like she was a child having a tantrum at camp and she needed all of these things right now. But they gave it to her. So
yeah, they were so nice.
Yeah. They were nice. And I like that their motto is to like make the guests happy and to serve them.
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I was a little scared because I didn't want Neely and them to get in trouble again for doing the special request eggs. You already know they did the special request with the cake last week. So I'm like, these special requests will probably get my girl in trouble. So I'm glad, everything worked out with that one and it was served to her. She probably had salt and pepper on the eggs. It probably was the whole 9. Plus, I think she has some drinks too to balance it all out. So
I mean, I hope she enjoyed her eggs. Like they were delivered to her specifically for her. Like she better have ate them and enjoyed them.
And not only was she getting served eggs, Adam was trying to serve her his love and affection, and she just was not taking that. What did you guys think about that? LaToya, what did you think about when Adam was trying to get with her?
Adam, I need to know how old Adam is because Adam reminds me of a child as well. Like his conversation at the table when he was talking about like what he eats and how he eats and Jordan just was not here for it. Adam is cute though. He is attractive, but I just feel like personality.
Oh my God. We all agreed last episode that he was not attractive. And like
he looked better. I think he looked better for some reason this episode. I don't know if he got like a little bit of a tan last week or what's going on.
I agree though. I do agree with that.
Yeah, for some reason I feel bad for what I said last week.
It's the personality. It's the personality that does it for me, that makes me feel like he's not attractive. It's the personality.
Yeah.
He just feels young. I think he's cute. Now, do I think he's a 9?
Like Nyle said.
Not a 9.
Nyle said, what did he say? He was like, if you're a 5 in the city, you're a 9 at camp.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to reserve the 10 for himself. But the thing about Adam is that he is going to flirt with like anyone with a pulse at this camp. Like anyone that's a girl with a pulse, he will be flirting with at this camp. This is not the first weekend he will hook up with someone. Didn't he end up hooking up with Jordan in the club or the bar?
They just kissed.
Yeah, it was
kissed.
Literally
okay. And he was flirting with our girl Randall the entire episode. What do you guys think about that? Like, are him and Randall like, do they have something going on?
Apparently, Randall wants it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's like those awkward situations. I think it's like for them, if they've had enough tequila, then maybe they think each other is really cute and they'll say everything they want to. But I think Randall kind of knows where this will go, nowhere. Like he's just somebody you have fun with, and that's it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so from there, speaking of Adam and his love, that cheesy shot, I'm wondering what the heck a spider shot is the entire time, because I've never had it. I'm thinking, wow, this must be strong. And a spider shot is literally just taking a shot and using a kiss as a chaser.
I've never heard of that before. But that was
disgusted.
It was a good move though, because she got him to kiss him. So it worked.
And then she walked away.
That's
so was a good move.
That's what did it.
That was good.
What did you think, LaToya, when you heard about that cheesy shot drink?
Well, I was interested, right? I was like, what is a spider shot? What's in that? But then after he said it, I was like, all right, Adam. Though I actually do think it's a good move. If I was feeling a guy, I'm a little too old for that now. When I was younger, if I was at the bar and feeling a guy and he said, let's do this, I maybe would have done it, 21 to like 23. With a guy at the bar.
A little spider shot won't hurt anybody.
I don't know.
Everybody needs at least one in their life.
I don't know, LaToya. I'm in between 21 and 23, and I much would have rather had like a lime or a lemon as my chaser or whatever.
You're way more sophisticated than I
was. And speaking of being sophisticated, let's talk about LaToya's favorite character, Nile, going in the lake and swimming as if he was the lifeguard. what'd you guys think when y'all saw him in the pool? Allie, what'd you think? Or in the lake, I guess I should say.
The lake, yeah.
I didn't think, okay, I had like a I have two parts. I didn't think it was a big deal at first. They're supposed to be catering to the guests. It's a lake. It looked like it was about 5 feet deep. It did not look like anything crazy. But then when they kind of did the like recap of last episode where they were like, absolutely no swimming without a lifeguard, I was like, okay, that probably does make sense. They're all very drunk. Going swimming is probably not a great idea. It's very dark outside. There's no lifeguards. But I didn't blame Nile for it, and I'm so glad that they didn't let him go because he was just having fun, and he's so sweet, and I feel like he's such a good guy that it's hard to be mad at him. You know what I mean? But yeah, I liked that scene. I thought it was really fun to watch.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Well, I want to know why David is even awake at this time. Like, it's probably 2 a.m. Like, I feel like there's no reason why Nile shouldn't be able to go skinny dipping. They all had clothes on. Trust me, we saw, like, that's not what skinny dipping is, but there's no reason they shouldn't be able to go, like, skinny dipping without the director seeing. Like, it was, like, 2 a.m. Like, he should be awake, like, getting ready to get up. Like, they should have been able to get away with that. However, I really don't think it was a good idea for him to do that because this camp is strict. Like, they have a lot of rules, like even for the adults.
Yeah, and I guess his biggest thing was the liability part. Like if one of them drowned, or like if he turned his head for 1 second and then they did something crazy or stupid, then the camp will be liable, and then they can't film anymore because they're getting sued, and then Bravo, and then now we don't even have a show anymore. Exactly. So they wanted to look out for AfterBuzz. That's all I think.
Exactly. A great correlation. But like but the thing is they were fine. Like it was like 3 feet, 4 feet. I mean, someone could have drowned in that, and maybe Nile should have been more careful, but I think at the end of the day, they would have been fine.
At least Nile went. He could not have gone and let them
And then,
off.
I mean, with this, I would be so confused as a as a social coordinator, because I wouldn't know, do I need to help or say yes or not? I don't want to get yelled at. Yeah. Right. But would you guys, starting with you, LaToya, would you guys have gone skinny dipping with Nile if, you guys were at that camp? Would you guys go?
Well, LaToya, would you? Backing up and back. First of all, they were not skinny dipping.
Exactly. That's not what skinny dipping is.
No, it upset me that they kept calling it skinny dipping.
Me too.
That's not what they were doing. Number 2, I am afraid of water at night. Like open bodies of water, I don't do at night, so I wouldn't have
gone. You would have been at the shore just waving. Like you
guys.
go, guys. What about you, Allie? Would you be going like clothes dipping or like covered dipping, I guess you could say?
Oh man, I mean, right now my answer would be probably very different than it would be at 2 a.m. with my girlfriends after some drinks. So there, I'll just leave it there. Yes,
so Allie's like, catch me at the right time, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends on what type of tequila. What about you, Zach?
I mean, I've gone skinny dipping. I love skinny dipping. However, if I was a social coordinator and I was on the clock, I probably wouldn't do it no matter how drunk I was, because I think it's my job. I would want to take it seriously. So I wouldn't have done it if I was Nile. However, I would do it if I wasn't Nile. If I was Jordan, or if I was Zach.
Yeah.
What about you?
Definitely. I think I'm definitely not. I'm kind of with LaToya on this one. I don't do big bodies of water for real. I know how to swim. But it's just something about in the water, and then I can't see, and then it's just like I can't see. I don't know. I'll start hyperventilating, and only in two, like it's too much.
I feel like a pool's different. A pool's different. Yeah, I feel like if it was a pool, I would do it. I don't know about the lake. Again, maybe, but yeah.
I would probably be holding on to the side of the perimeter, just because I would be too scared to I wouldn't trust myself. Too many tequilas, too many 1942s.
Exactly.
I don't know. And speaking of that, we can also dive deeper into all this and get more questions, because we do have a special guest with us that we did promise you guys. We have Neely here to talk to us all about the episode, as well as her relationship now with Tripp Are they still together? Are they not? And more about her relationship with Claire and much more. So let us know in the comments below all of what you want to ask her, and we'll make sure those answers she answers those questions. So with further ado,
hey, Neely.
we have Neely. Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Oh my goodness. We have the camper Neely here with us. So we have to know, before this whole experience, have you been to camp before, or was this your first stay away for camp?
I've never been to summer camp before, but I had worked at the camp before we started filming. But I have a background in survival skills and outdoor education. So rather than going to summer camp when I was in high school, I went and I did this program called the National Outdoor Leadership School, which was more of like a outdoor skills based program than like a summer camp. So kind of, but not camp in the traditional sense.
Okay. So this is in you. So you know about this a little bit.
I'm nature.
Yeah, so if a bear came, you got everybody.
Yeah, I got everybody.
So we've got to know, because we're all dying to know, you got a lot of time and we got to literally know all about you and Tripp. So we've got to know, how did that feel seeing your ex walk through? We saw your face, but what were you really thinking the entire time?
I was shocked. Honestly, Nyle and I know each other through Tripp, because when Tripp and I were seeing each other, he had introduced me to Nyle a few times because they're like best friends. So part of me in the back of my head kind of expected Tripp to show up at some point during the summer, but I was not expecting it on the second weekend when I was still trying to like recover from the whole cake thing. And really focus on doing a good job that weekend, and everything was so new to me still. And then it was just like, just kidding, here's another wrench we're gonna throw into you.
You're definitely in the hot seat every single weekend.
Yes, I know.
Poor Neely.
Did not plan it that way.
Yeah. I mean, we have so many questions about like Tripp, like, so you didn't really necessarily know he was coming. So were you mad that Nyle didn't give you a heads up?
Yeah, I was pissed at him because he knew that we used to date, and he knew exactly what he was doing by not telling me, and he could have given me a heads up. Like he told me all of his other friends were coming that weekend, but just like left out.
So maybe he didn't specifically.
He's not as good as we thought he was.
Right.
Dang.
It's great, but he knew Tripp and I kind of had some stuff to work out, so I think he just kind of wanted to let that happen organically rather than letting me get all like worked up about it beforehand.
So Neelys, will you clarify what actually happened between you and Tripp the first time you two dated?
Yeah, I mean, Tripp and I met at Comic-Con, like super randomly. So Tripp is an artist, and he was doing like this big art exhibition for the Sci-Fi Network, and I was in line to get a free t-shirt. And I remember he walked over and was just like, hey, like, come paint this thing for the art thing. And then we started talking. We went out that night and we just started hanging out and then started dating. And what eventually happened was that I was a little bit more invested in trying to make something more committed than he was. And it kind of turned into, oh, we're going to go on a fun date. And then it's like, I'm too busy to go on the fun date. Why don't you just come over and watch a movie? And that was the extent of our relationship, till one night I went over and was like, I'm not going to do this Netflix and chill relationship anymore unless
Good
you have
for you.
time for like an actual commitment for me. But to which she said, I really don't. We should just be friends. And then I didn't hear from him until I saw him at camp.
Wow. He really tried to play you. I love how you told him that.
Which is what I was explaining when we were sitting on the beach, because I did go over to his place. I'd had a couple glasses of wine with my girlfriends, trying to talk it out with them, and they're like, you just need to go over there and tell him how you feel. And I,
So where are things now with Tripp?
Yeah, we have a question.
I can answer that.
I feel like I can't tell you, or else
Can you at least tell us this? Because we have a question in the live chat from Brian Murphy. He says, I need to have some closure from Tripp and the ride home. So like, why did you offer to drive him home? And like, was the ride home awkward? And like, how far was that ride?
Because Tripp missing the bus is just like such a classic Tripp thing. So I knew he came over to ask for a ride home, and he knew I drove, so it wasn't a big deal. He lives on the west side. I lived on the east side. So
was it awkward on the ride home, or you guys are just?
It wasn't awkward because I think I also drove Randall and Nile home too.
Oh, so it was a whole road party.
It was like a group ride. It wasn't just like a one-on-one ride.
Okay. Well, then that makes we can sleep at night now. We can sleep at night.
I was really
sleep at night knowing
that.
too. So, also, what would you say was? First of all, I have to know. Was Claire really like that about the cake situation? Like, was she that mad? And like, how was it, Rick, making up with her and like you guys having that talk too?
Yeah, she was really upset. And I think you can kind of see in this week's episode how ambiguous the rules can kind of be, in that like, when I left to go have that talk with Tripp, it was specifically at midnight when we were off duty. And when the girls came to ask Nile to go skinny dipping, we all knew, or skinny dipping.
Yeah, literally.
We all knew that wasn't allowed, but we also recognized that they were drunk and they were going to go do it anyway. So was it better to let the guests go do it anyway, or was it better to be there? He definitely shouldn't have jumped in. He definitely should have like grabbed Claire or David or somebody and been like, hey, this is happening. I need help. But you kind of make those split second decisions. They're like, what's the best choice here? So she was upset, and like in hindsight, there were a lot of things that I could have done differently, but I'm the kind of person that like I try to think about it and not to make excuses for something, and rather see where in a situation I could take accountability for making a mistake. So that's what I tried to do with Claire, just because I really wanted to put it behind me. That cake has been haunting me for like 10 months. I'm telling you.
Is Claire that scary in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
And
oh my God.
Claire's interesting just because she truly like, she is she's such a good person, and she does care, but like her emotions come out just as like, I guess, aggressively when she is being like caring, as when she is being like the mama bear role, as when she is being like the leadership role. So she definitely is just like a very expressive with her emotions person, but when she's upset, she's scary.
We can tell.
Yeah.
When you started crying, that's when I was like, oh yeah, I know this is real.
Those weren't like, oh my God, I got yelled at tears. Those were like, I just got like angry. I just got yelled at tears, and frustrated. I just got yelled at tears, which is just like, I'm the kind of person that cries when I get mad. I don't know if any of you can relate to that.
Yeah, of course.
What's your zodiac sign, by the way?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, okay.
Virgo,
cool.
I am a Capricorn moon, and I think a Leo
rising.
Leo rising.
Ooh.
But okay, so you guys talked about zodiacs last week.
Yeah.
Our zodiac mix is crazy. So there's 4 Virgos, there's 2 Aries, and there's Scorpio.
There's no Cancers?
I don't know, Gavin.
I'm a Cancer.
I'm a Cancer.
Aw, I'm a Capricorn. I totally see you as a Capricorn moon, though. That makes sense. You're like hardworking and dedicated.
Allie, I'm a Capricorn too. That's funny.
Hey,
Oh, wow. 2 Capricorns and 2 Cancers on the panel.
Yes. We're so into zodiacs, especially Zach and I, because it really does, throw a different mix and everything. Did you add Claire and David into that mix of zodiacs too?
I don't know what theirs are.
Oh yeah, I think there's. If I could guess, if you could guess what zodiac sign Claire and David would be, what do you think?
Good question.
I would say Claire is an an Aries.
Yeah, I
would say David is an Aquarius.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Okay, you know your zodiac.
David's so funny. David's actually like a really chill, kind of relaxed guy. He like loves the Grateful Dead and fish, and like that kind of Aquarius just vibe jumps out to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now I have a question. I want to know some tea, okay? I want to know who's like the closest, because I feel like you guys are all just kind of like friends, but like who is like really close friends like in this group?
Okay. So Glenn and I are BFFs.
Okay.
We're such good friends. I would say Randall, Soph, and I are pretty close. I would say Monica and Soph are really close. Nile, Randall, Adam, and I are really close. Gavin is just like BFFs with everybody. The thing is that like we're all really good friends. I think that there are definitely points of tension between particular people within the group, but as a whole, like we have a group chat, we talk every day. There's nobody that's just like, I can't even be in her presence, or I can't even be in her presence. But Glenn is my
Glenn's
best
your best friend. And we're waiting to see more of Sophia. We haven't seen much of her the first couple episodes.
Yeah, and I think you will next week.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
Will
Gavin,
she have
too.
will she have like a juicy episode like you did too?
I think so. I think I'm trying to, the weeks all blend together, but I think next week is the week when you really start seeing Sophia.
Okay,
perfect.
cool.
Neely, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One, how did you find out about the camp and start working there? And then I'm like, what was my second question? Let's start with the first one.
So I found out about the camp. I had just recently moved to New York City from Vermont, which was kind of a culture shock for me, just coming from like Vermont, which is kind of smaller and really outdoorsy. Going to the city felt really, really overwhelming for me. So I was trying to find something that was more outdoor oriented for me to do over the summer, to just kind of like have a place. And I came across Camp Getaway, and they had the social coordinator program. So I went for a weekend and tried it out, especially because I had talked to David about my background in outdoor education and survival and what I could do with like their hiking things, and if I could do a survival skills class. So I went for the weekend, and that's pretty much it. It was just a Google search.
Oh, nice.
And now here you are on a hit Bravo show.
You know, if
all
you
hats to you.
this time last year that was going to happen, I would not have believed you.
Wow.
That's
Sure.
crazy. Well, before we get out of here, we do have a special segment. So we're gonna do of our MVP for the night. So we can all go around. So LaToya, who was your MVP for the night?
I'm gonna have to stick with Nile in those 3 marriages. Neely, Nile to call me. I'm looking for the one, and if he has that good of a track record, I need his help.
Yeah, I mean, I'll float the word over to him.
You're gonna have a ring on it by no time. Quarantine is not gonna stop you. Miss Rona is not stopping.
Well, I don't know if I want a ring. I just want someone that I don't mind talking to.
What about you, Zach?
Well, I don't want to say Randall because that would be playing favorites. So I'm gonna go with Monica because I really liked her outfit at the Roaring 20s party. I think she slayed. I think she killed it, like 10 out of 10. And she's not getting enough airtime yet. So I'm gonna go with Monica.
What about you, Allie?
I would say Nile, but now I feel bad knowing that he didn't tell Neely what was up with Tripp. But I think Nile, I think that we saw a different side of him this week. And I don't know, yeah, he just brought the fun and just a good guy.
And what about you, Neely? Who is your MVP?
Can't say yourself.
I know, I wouldn't. I would say Randall. Honestly, she shows up to do the job in her boot because she wants to be there and she wants to do that. And her parents came with her. And to be fair, I'll just clear the air for her. The reason her parents dropped her off was because she had a doctor's appointment for her foot. right before she came that her parents drove her to, because it was in Long Island, and then they drove to camp.
Okay, we're sorry, Randall. We're
Yeah,
sorry for judging you.
She was just like, I wish they showed that.
Right.
But I
Cool
mean,
that her parents were there.
yeah, and her parents are like my favorite people. They are, everything that comes out of their mouth is hilarious. They're so funny. But she just like, I wouldn't show up there if I had a broken foot. So the fact that she comes with her full personality and a broken foot, like, girl, MVP.
Love that.
I bet. I don't know who would be my MVP. I kind of want to say you, Neely, not because, you're here on the after show, but also because, it takes a lot of courage to talk back to Claire and, after a big explosion, and then to really come and talk to her and you guys come to a common ground. I was really here for that part too. Not so much the kiss with Tripp, but we all trip up sometimes.
We all trip up.
I mean, are you really living life if it hasn't happened to you? Are you really living your best life?
The thing about Tripp is that, like, and why I liked him initially was he is so much fun. Like, he is so carefree and spontaneous and just like a great time. And I am not like that all the time. Like, I tend to get very stressed about things and be like very like driven and detail oriented. And like the second I hang out with Tripp, he's just like, calm down. And I'm like, okay.
I wish we saw more of that.
Now you're gonna make us kind of like him too.
Well, Neely, you are awesome. Jean Wilson in the live chat says, Neely, you are so sweet. So people love you out there. We love you.
Thank you.
Definitely. And before we officially leave, we do predictions. So I'm so excited for this one. I think we all kind of guessed it right a little for our predictions last week. But starting with you, LaToya, what do you predict will happen in the next episode?
Ooh, in the next episode, I think that we will see more of Adam being Adam, and maybe some good tension between Adam and Randall.
Oh, maybe a hookup you see in the light there, LaToya?
She may get that appetizer.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad at the appetizer. Not mad at all. What about you, Allie? What do you think is going to happen next episode?
I was going to agree. I think Randall and Adam, they're going to have a little chemistry there. I think we're going to see more of Sophie. I hope. I've been dying to see some of her. And I'm sure, as we saw a little bit in the sneak peek for next week, that Adam getting in trouble, and we don't really know why. So I'm excited to see what he does, because who knows? He can do so many things. I have no idea.
Honestly, I can't keep up with him. It's a lot. And what about you, Zach? What do you think?
I mean, I don't want to be boring, but like, I agree with everyone. Like, I think Adam and Randall are going to hook up. I almost rather have them hook up like next episode, because this buildup is just like kind of annoying. Like, just hook up and like get it over with. Other than that, like, I'm not sure. Neely, what can you tell us?
Yeah.
What is your prediction?
My prediction is that next week at camp, you may see some of the conflicts start.
Oh.
And that you may see some of the romances start.
Ooh,
Romance.
Are you going to be finding a romance at camp? A new one?
I just can't tell you. You gotta watch and see.
Well, we definitely will be tuning in for that one. I guess for me, I'm trying to figure out, in my magic psychic ball, what I think would happen. I'm gonna say that we're gonna see some more of Dr. Monica. I think I'm ready for her. Yes. I'm really ready for her to just
shine,
to just show out. Okay, I know it's coming, and so I have so much hope with her. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think Adam is probably gonna get, red, and I think they're really going to tell him about who he is, because he's kind of been making me mad a little bit, and it's only been episode 2, but I think that's who the conflict is going to be, is with Adam. Someone's going to give him a run for his money, and I can't wait. So that's kind of what I was thinking, but also let everyone know where to find you guys at, so people can follow you as well. So Allie, where can everyone find you at?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Alexandra James.
And what about you, LaToya?
I'm on Instagram, LaToya.Blakely, Twitter, Blakely LaToya, and I'm also on the after show for Defending Jacob Friday.
Ooh,
Check us out.
Friday night special. And what about you, Zach? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Zach Weinberg and Twitter at It's Zachary Fish.
Okay.
Where I tweet about the episodes. So follow me.
Yes. And Neely, where can people find you at?
They can find me on both Instagram and Twitter at Neely Fortune.
Ooh, perfect. And you guys can follow me on Instagram at IAM_SANA_ and on Twitter at IAM_SANA. And thank you so very much for tuning in and making us the ESPN of TV Talk, because without you, we wouldn't be. So thank you so much. And since you're already here, don't forget to like, comment below all of your thoughts on the episode, as well as subscribe so you can stay on the latest buzz of your favorite Camp Getaway reality stars as well too. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming on.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.